the first card you have, your past, is the Seven of Swords. Yes, I think, yeah, someone around you could have been pretending that they were in one situation, but they're actually in another situation. They're very sneaky about it. I think, sometimes this card can be about cheating. That's not what I'm seeing in this card. This is something that might be around possessions or money or something like that. I think someone might have felt that you owed them something. Now, they were misguided about that. They had the wrong idea about that. I don't think you did owe them anything. I'm not seeing that. But they were trying to kind of get what they thought was owed to them, but they weren't doing it in a straightforward way. They weren't coming up to you and saying, I think you owe me this, or they weren't doing anything in the proper way. They were kind of doing it in a sly way. It's a little bit like they wanted some kind of strange revenge on you. It was like they wanted to kind of go, oh, I'll show them, I'll do this sneaky thing. So yeah, it was quite horrible, really. So just be careful. I mean, if this is resonating with you or your instincts are trying to tell you something, just be very, very careful around this. I think, this person doesn't do things up front. They don't do things in the light of day. If they have a problem with you, they're the sort of person who won't just come out and say it. They kind of sneak around with this, or they do something kind of underhand to kind of get you back, which I hate, that kind of thing. The man on this card, obviously, he's sneaking away with these swords. And, sometimes people say this is during the day, but sometimes I see this as kind of either sunrise or sunset, because he's kind of sneaking around the tents. And I kind of imagine, I know there are some people in the background, right in the background, kind of waving their swords around saying, hey, what have you done? You've stolen our swords. But I kind of imagine, when I see these two tents, and I kind of always imagine, it's sunrise or sunset, and they're sleeping, and he's waiting until they're asleep, and he comes and sneaks away and takes their swords away. So, he's very sneaky. So that's what this person was doing. They were doing something kind of a little bit when you weren't realizing, if that makes sense. And this actually might be about a contract, or it might be about, I keep on seeing something around money. It might be someone who might have been receiving some kind of ongoing payment from you, and it should have ended. This payment time should have ended. Maybe it was kind of something that was set up, an ongoing thing, paying in every month, and kind of you forgot that was happening. It might be something like that. I'm seeing things set up in a way that goes this person's way, but kind of at your expense, and kind of also, again, in an underhand way. So they were kind of doing this under the radar, where you might not see what was happening. And I think, you do talk to this person. I think you do talk to them, but not very much. I can see that. So that might kind of make you think about who this is. But again, if this resonates, just think about who this is. Think about who you might be picking up negative feelings around, and someone who also fits the description, someone who's kind of a bit like that, and someone who kind of... someone who you've been talking to, someone who you know, that's what I'm seeing, but you don't kind of talk to them very much anymore. It's something like that. I hope that wasn't too vague. I'm just trying to get out everything that I can, that I see. So, the next card you have, your past, is the King of Pentacles. So again, more money. I was seeing money, so I'm seeing more money again now with this King of Pentacles. So I think this person probably sees you as being very well off, or they perceive you as being in a better situation than they are. And also, again, they thought that you owed them something, or you didn't deserve what you had, or whatever, and they were trying to get revenge. So this is how they saw you. Oh, as this some great big, very wealthy man who has everything, and it isn't fair, and look at him sitting there, and look at me, and it's all that kind of thing. So they saw you as better off, in a better situation than they were, and they still do, I think. Not just financially, though. I think they think that you're kind of very comfortable in all sorts of ways in your life as well, and that you've kind of gotten away with things. and they were trying to kind of address things in this kind of shady way. And I think, you have achieved quite a bit. I think you're fine, you're quite comfortable, but you're not as hugely successful as they thought you were. I mean, it's not like you're a king. They probably still think that you are a king, or or you think you are, or you act like one. But none of this is true. This is just going on in their head. But, you've worked really hard, and I think that's the part they don't see. They don't see the part where you've actually worked hard. A lot of people don't see that in anything. The other thing I'm seeing at this time is you're very, very busy. The King of Pentacles is always busy. That's how he gets to where he is. He works very hard. And you might have been tied down with a lot of things because you were so busy. This king's almost tied to his throne with all these vine leaves all over him. So I think this is also a message to you that, I know this is in the past, but you need to take some time out of your busy day, out of your busyness. Try to find out what this is. Try to find out who this is. And I think there are probably other things that you need to sort out as well. But I think you haven't had time to sort out a lot of things. And I think also, if you look at this king, he has his eyes shut as well. So someone's trying to do something thinking, oh, they've got their eyes shut, they can't see what I'm doing, or keep on taking this money out of here, or I'll keep on doing this thing, or I'll keep on kind of sneaking around. Open your eyes and take the vines off yourself and get up and walk around. Go and, open up some time for yourself to allow yourself to kind of pick up any loose ends that you haven't had time to do. Go and do all of these things that you've kind of been neglecting because you've been too busy. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have, your past, is the Knight of Swords. So yeah, I know this is in the past, but again, this is showing me that you need to break out of this kind of busy cycle that you've been in. You've been so tied down in everything, like this king again. So not just to address these things that you weren't seeing, that you needed to take care of, but also I think you needed to you need to get more balance in your life, and you're probably still like that now. That's why I'm seeing this now as a message to you. And I think there might have been, and there still is, someone around you who was probably telling you that. They were telling you to kind of take a break, don't work so hard, take some time off. And this person really cares about you. So whoever this is, they do love you, they care about you. I'm seeing that. And they're not trying to nag you, if that's what you think they're doing. They really just care about you, and they want you to take a rest. They want you to get some balance in your life, and they want to spend time with you. That's what I'm seeing. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is that, so don't be upset, don't be worried about this. There might be some kind of legal action or legal dispute that might happen. Obviously, this is only going to resonate with some people, but I had to say this because that's what I saw. So it might be around this person who is being underhand. It might be that you take action against them. Because they're being like this. It might eventually go that way, or it might be that they're kind of doing something against you. I don't know. It might not be a court case. It might just be someone speaking on behalf of someone. I'm seeing money around this again. I am seeing, I'm seeing someone rushing to speak on someone's behalf. Someone who's very, very forceful. So it might be legal action, it might not be. But it is something quite serious, and it is something where someone's speaking quite forcefully on behalf of another person. That's what I'm seeing quite clearly there. So I think whoever's going to speak forcefully, this might be someone on their side, actually, because what I'm seeing is that I don't think things are going to go too well for whoever this is, this person who's speaking. I think things might be taken out of their hands, actually. I don't think they're going to feel in control of things, because if you look at this knight, he's kind of rushing forward, but this poor horse looks completely out of control. They look really scared, actually. Now, the knight's passionate, rushing in with his red cape, and he's rushing forward. Rah, rah, rah. He wants to speak really forcefully. He wants to tell everyone what he thinks, and he wants to get in and do all that. But passion doesn't always equal victory. And also the horse is out of control, so he's not in control of himself, really. He might take things a bit too far. He might say things that might be not quite right or something like that. It might go wrong for him. And I think that if this person's against you, you're Libra, so you're the well-balanced one. You're the kind of calm one. You can plan things carefully and slowly. You can see all sides of things. You can look at things from all angles, all directions. So whoever this is looks as if they're strong externally. They're kind of rushing in anger and all of this, but you're very strong internally and you're very well balanced. So if this does come up for you and it kind of scares you, just remember that you're well balanced. Just remember that you have the calm way about you. You have the thoughtful way about you. Passion doesn't always equal victory. It really does not, especially not in this case, especially not if this is something legal. Passion does not win in that. Logic and evidence and all of that thing wins in that area. Not always. I'm not saying it's always the court system's perfect and all of that, but usually. Now, and again, it might not even be that. It might not even be a litigation. It might be just someone, it might be some kind of mediation. It might be some kind of meeting where someone has to speak up for someone else. It might just be that. It might not be that extreme. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have for your present is the Wheel of Fortune. I love this card. Well, it can be both. It can be good or bad, depending. I think this is you finally being able to communicate properly with someone. I'm saying finally because I think this was like, the wheel was turning one way in a relationship. This was a love connection or a relationship. It was turning one way. It was turning the wrong way. It was turning against communication between you for a long, long time. And I think it might have even seemed that you'd never ever connect properly with this person. You'd never ever, especially on this subject. There was a subject that you really disagreed on, and it was a great big emotional block in between you. And yeah, I think you just thought, I'll never come together on this. You might have even thought you might have been giving up on this relationship, or they did. It might have been that extreme. But I think now at this time, things are turning in the opposite direction. They're turning in the right direction. I'm seeing a lot of talking between you on whatever the subject is. I'm also seeing you having a lot of loving conversations. I'm seeing you being very physically close with this person. I'm seeing you might be laughing, getting really close together. I'm getting this really, really nice feeling around this. I think you're going to have a lot of fun conversations, loving conversations, and important conversations about this subject. But I think these conversations are going to go really well. I think the flow is going to go really well. And I think you're going to have a really good sense of understanding between you and this other person. So this is fantastic. This is a big, big breakthrough, because I've been seeing communication problems around you for a long time, actually. So this is really, really good. So the next card you have for your present is the Five of Pentacles. Yes. So yeah, the difference between this card and the King of Pentacles, because they're next to each other. Look at that. Now, what I'm seeing in this is that this is how this person in the Seven of Swords sees the difference between you and them. That's what they see. That's all they see. They don't see you've put hard work in. They don't see they're doing things in the wrong way and that's backfiring on them. They don't see anything else. All they see is, look at me, look at poor me, and look at you, and look at how amazing you are. And it's not fair. I should be in that position, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get there. And even if I have to do things that aren't right, I'm going to kind of get revenge. So that's the kind of thing I'm seeing. That sounds terrible, I know, but that's what I'm seeing. So, this is what they see. They see themselves as very hard done by compared to you. But again, they're so misguided about this. They're very, 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 very misguided. And, they're doing something underhand still. And I think maybe they're planning to get something out into the open if they haven't already, in a kind of a loud, forceful way. That's what I was seeing in the Knight of Swords. So I think this is either an ex, or this is someone you used to work with, or you're in kind of business with. It's that. Someone who you used to spend a lot of time with day after day, someone who you're very close to. I think it's either one or the other. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of angry passion around this person, and they have the wrong idea. Again, they're misguided. So, again, don't be afraid. I don't want to scare you. I think you're actually a lot more stable emotionally, or a lot more balanced than they are. And if this is all resonating with you, firstly, again, try to find out exactly what this is all about, who this is. And secondly, try to keep your emotions under control, because I think that's how you're going to get on top of this situation, because they're not in control. They're kind of really out of balance. They're kind of running around, jumping in, trying to do things in all kinds of bad ways. They're kind of angry, they're passionate. And so I think if you're very balanced and you're very calm, I think that's what's going to help you, get on top of this. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have, your present, is the Hanged Man. So I think, I think you might be around some people at this time, and this might be family that you're around. Okay, so I'll try and tell you what I'm seeing. Maybe you used to share beliefs, ideas with these family members. I think you used to share very similar beliefs, actually. But now your ideas are very, very different from them. Very, very, very different. And, you're passionate about your beliefs. I think, if you look at the man on this card, he's wearing red trousers, which says passion to me. Or maybe they're tights, or maybe I'm not sure what they are. I don't think he's wearing yoga pants, but anyway, he might be. But yeah, I think, it probably took you a long, long time to build up these views that you have. And, it wasn't like you had these ideas overnight. It wasn't like they just came to you all of a sudden. But this could be how some of these family members see you, as some kind of rebellious child or teenager who's just kind of thought of some idea and it's just popped into your head and you've become this thing. But that's not how it happened. And they probably see you as that you're seeing things from an upside down perspective as well, like this Hanged Man. But yeah, that's probably how you see them as well, that they can't see things in the right way up either. I'm actually seeing one specific person trying to have lots of conversations with you about this. I think they might even be trying to argue with you. So if this resonates with you, I think you might be the calmer one in this argument. I was going to say hold back on your temper, or try not to overreact, but you're not going to do that. I can see that. I can see you're going to be the calm one around this. Definitely, that's what I'm seeing. So you're doing the right thing. You're just going to kind of sit back, let them kind of try to bait you or argue or whatever, and you're just going to not kind of bite. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the High Priestess. So yeah, I think this difference of opinion, I think this difference in belief systems between you and your family, this might actually be something religious. It might be something spiritual. It might be that you've gone from a more religious background with these people into something spiritual. Might be that, or it might just be a completely different, that you've grown into a new belief system. But whatever this is, it's a big shift that you had in belief systems. It's not as trivial as they say. It's not trivial at all. It's very, very important to you. And I think after you had this shift, you saw the world in a completely different way. You had to work through this. You had to come to these conclusions yourself. And you're very, very strong in these beliefs. I keep on seeing how strong you are in these beliefs. And I think, nobody can convince you to go back to the way you were. I don't think you could, even if you wanted to. I think it's in you now. It's right inside the core of you. You can't go back. That's what I'm seeing. It's extremely important to you. And I don't think this person in the Hanged Man can appreciate that about you. But I think, if they do have these views they've had all their life and they've brought you up that way or whatever, they're not going to change either. And I don't think you're expecting them to change, but they're expecting you to. But yes, you're not going to. The next card you have for your future is Judgment. Yeah, so again, I'm seeing this kind of this kind of spiritual thing, if that's what it is. Yeah, this was a very important awakening for you. And again, there's no going back. I think they are going to come back. I think this person's going to come back and try and talk to you and argue with you and all of that. But I think no matter how many times this person tries to argue with you, you're not going backwards. You can't. I think this person arguing with you and all of this kind of thing, it might be making you feel a little bit emotionally up and down, actually, and you might be feeling a little bit conflicted. I don't think this is in your beliefs. I don't think you're going to change your beliefs, but I think this is around your feelings. Excuse me. So it might take you some time to kind of balance your past and your present out in your head, if that makes sense. Kind of get your head around where you've come from, where you are now, everything that was said to you, all of that kind of thing. I think you just have a lot to go through emotionally with this. I think this is going to be something that you might not have shown it to this person or to these family members, but it kind of did shake you up, or is going to, I should say. This is in the future, so it will shake you up a bit, and you're just going to have to kind of wait until that calms down. I think this family gathering really did stir up a lot of emotions, or it is going to. I'm not sure when this is happening, but I think it's just going to take some time for you to settle down from that. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's going to really stir you up, I think. So the last card you have for your future is Strength. So yeah, again, you're strong in your convictions. You're strong in your beliefs. No matter what happens, you're not going back. You're not going backwards. So the other thing I'm seeing is that, I'm seeing these conversations that I was seeing in the Wheel of Fortune between you and this kind of love connection or your partner. And I think, they're continuing on at this time. And I think in the past, when you tried to communicate with this person, I think it was extremely difficult for you. Again, I'm seeing the same thing. You're very emotional, both of you. I think you both had a lot of heated conversations that went on and on and on for a long time, and you couldn't really get anywhere because you're so kind of emotional with this. But now at this time, I'm seeing you kind of in the Wheel of Fortune, and after that, I think things are really changing now, and I think you're both having to, make the effort. It's not like, you're magically clicking your fingers and everything's wonderful and you're having these great conversations. There is work involved in this. But I think as you keep on working at this together, things are becoming easier for you. I think you're both showing your strength by staying very, very calm in this, especially your partner, I think, because I think they can be quite a fiery person. I can see that. So this has been a big effort for them, and I think it's really paying off for both of you. That's what I'm seeing. It's really worth it. It's really working. I'm seeing you both coming really, really closer to one another. And again, I'm seeing you having these hard conversations, but you're putting the work into them. And again, I'm also seeing you having fun conversations, light-hearted conversations, loving conversations. And I'm just seeing you being really close, hugging, all of that kind of thing. So it's really, really nice to see that finally happening, because for a long, long time I was seeing in your readings this kind of really horrible lack of communication between you and someone else.